Hi everybody, and welcome to the introduction to using Discord with your classes. So this is the first video. There are three total. Um, First I'm just going to go over sort of an introductory information and FAQ. And then the next video will be about how to set up Discord. And then the third video is about some of the more advanced features. So to get started, a few things you should know is that Discord is an online community building and chat platform. So you might have heard of it as a gamer platform. So a lot of people use it for the audio and text chat capabilities while they're playing video games so that they can talk to each other. But it is being used more and more in classrooms and businesses as a way for sort of back channel chat, quick communication, similar to things like Slack you've probably heard of, because it is easy to set up, easy to use, available on any platform. Windows, Mac, Linux, your phone will have an app, or you can just use it in the browser. It is much easier to use it in a native app, so I would definitely recommend downloading the app for whatever platform you're on. I don't recommend doing this course entirely on your phone, but you can. But if you can download it to PC or a laptop, then I think you'll have a better experience. Also, you can stay anonymous in some servers. So there are very large Discord servers. There are now servers for everything you can possibly think of. There are ones for the Association for Computing Machinery. We have discussions about, education and the environment and all these different, sub channels related to computer science. And so that's just one example. There are lots of Discord servers out there that you can explore if you're interested in connecting with other people. So to that end, I've actually created a Discord server just for teachers who are interested in using Discord in their classroom. So if you are interested in connecting with other teachers who may or may not have used it before and want to ask questions, want to offer advice, want to, solve a problem or just chat, then there's a link to join our private PD server. So you will need to email me with your Discord username and your real name. This is what I do for every class, not just this one, and it's a very important step. So in order to be respectful of each other, to have a safe, secure, and private server, it is really important to verify the people that are joining your server. So if, in a classroom setting, students start sending out your URL to your class to other friends, and you allow them to be anonymous, you can see how that would get out of hand. So in every server that I manage, I ask people to send me an email with their name and their username, and then I can go in and set their nickname in my servers to their real name. So that way people know who each other are. They are more respectful, they have an identity, and they are really, part of the community. So for example, my username that I use to log in is Mr. B, MRB, and then Discord attaches a number at the end of that, a random number. So my full username is actually MRB 6346. But you can set a different nickname in every server. So most servers that I join, I just set my nickname to Mr. Bartus, because that way everybody knows who I am, and students can message me or see when I message them. And don't worry, if you already have a Discord username and identity for some other purpose, the nickname that you set is unique to an individual server. So, I can be Splashdog 5000 on a different server where I want to be anonymous and participate that way, but in my academic servers, I always put my real name. So there's some frequently asked questions that I get about Discord. Probably the most common is, why should I use a gamer platform with my class? And I would say the biggest reason, and the thing that I always try to keep in mind for everything that I put in my class, is I like to have a low bar and a high ceiling. So Discord is a really easy way to connect with students, for them to connect with each other, has a very low barrier to entry, it works on every platform. But in particular, often the most disengaged and hardest to reach students are already on Discord. So instead of forcing those students to try a new platform that they don't really want to do, they're already there. So you're meeting them where they're at. It feels very comfortable for them, So it might be a little less comfortable for the students who aren't gamers, the high-end students, but that's okay, because that they'll participate. So at the beginning of classes, or at the beginning of semesters, I have to strongly encourage participation, but once the ball gets rolling, it goes really well. Part of that is setting up small group channels with 2 to 3 students in each one, and I shuffle those around to try and get students to connect with maybe people they don't know, but people that they get along with, after a few days. And the reason for that is, I really want students to have someone they feel comfortable with asking for help, or just chatting with, or whatever, in this non-threatening way. So it builds a little bit of local community, even within the community of the classroom. A huge part of this as well is that students can get help when they need it. So if students are working on a problem set in the evening, or doing an experiment, or writing a computer program, and they get stuck, especially in subjects where you cannot make progress without solving a problem, they can jump on Discord and ask for help. If I'm online, then I'll help them, but I don't have to be, right? You don't have to be on Discord 24/7 as a teacher. But if I am, I can help. And if I'm not, there are always other students online. So it gives students help when they need it, and they don't just drop what they're doing because they can't make progress. So it's a hugely powerful tool for students getting help, as they're doing homework, or over the weekend, or whenever they need it. And as I mentioned, you can choose to be online, offline. You can set up office hours, however you want to help them, whether it's just text or video, or they can share their screen and you can go through it with them. So it's really powerful that way. Why shouldn't they be anonymous? I covered this a little bit, but we want to really avoid any kind of, bullying, provocation, abuse, anything like that. And when students are linked to their identity, that, goes down a lot. They, can still send direct messages to each other, and so you have to have conversations about that with students. And what that means, and how to report it to you, and what's going to happen. So those are important conversations to have, but not being anonymous goes a long way to solving those issues. Another question I have is, if students are already using this as a gaming platform, then wouldn't they just, post some memes and not take it seriously? Well, that is kind of a default behavior for some students, especially younger students, freshmen in high school. But I look at it as a teaching moment. I set the expectations. This is professional environment. You can be friendly with people in a professional environment, but you don't treat them as your friends, right? You don't make the same kinds of jokes with your colleagues at an office party that you do with your friends at a pool party, right? And so it's a way for students to start to understand that a work environment is a professional environment, how to act in a professional environment, which is something that students often don't get taught, and sometimes have to learn the hard way. So this is a great opportunity for that. In addition, I really like to talk about code switching. I like to have a difficult conversation with my students about what it means for students of color, for BIPOC students, to have to come in and act differently than they do at home or with their friends. They change their vocabulary, behavior, clothing. Sometimes their entire personality is different because they want to. They've learned that they have to do that to fit in into sort of the majority culture. And what does that mean? What kind of extra work is going on for those students? So anyway, the rule of thumb that I give is, if you're wondering whether what you're about to post is appropriate, it's not, right? If you have to wonder, it's not. Just don't do it. An important thing is Discord is not FERPA compliant, right? It is not designed to be a secure student information repository. So just remind students not to post any personal information. Their names are not FERPA compliant, so that's fine. But nothing about grades. Don't send students grades, or obviously addresses, phone numbers, stuff like that. It's perfectly fine as a discussion platform, but it's not FERPA compliant. It also requires an age of 13 or older, which is fine. I would never use this with middle school or elementary school students. They don't have, in my opinion, the cognitive ability to do that code switching and to keep things professional. Some of them do, but not in a classroom setting. So finally, you want to make sure that your district allows it. So it might be the tech guys, it might be administration, but some districts might block Discord entirely because students will try to use it in other classes, despite being able to use it on their phones. I understand it's a cat and mouse game, but it can be a powerful tool, and you can make that case. All right, so that is. Those are the basic questions. I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to the next step, which is creating your first server. So remember, please go ahead and join our teacher-only server here by clicking this link once you have installed Discord, and send me a message and introduce yourself in the chat. All right, look forward to seeing you there.